Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to your wholesaling, lease options, and marketing mastermind. And welcome. If you can see the screen clearly and if the audio is coming out loud and clear, please go ahead and confirm in the GoToWebinar control panel. We have a couple of questions already lined up here that were sourced and turned in. So we will definitely jump right into it. The replays haven't been posted yet. Do look out for it. Hopefully you guys have already subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, do check it out. I will type a link here for everyone so that you can check out the YouTube channel. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and feedback, right? We've managed to transfer a bulk of our videos already onto the new YouTube channel. So for those of you that have different teams, or you're doing deals virtually, or you are building your bird dog network by placing ads on Craigslist and other online based websites, it would definitely come in handy. It's the same training that I provide for my property scouts and the bird dogs in our network. So let me just pull and grab the link on here. Yeah, the videos on YouTube are definitely getting crazier, aren't they? If you can confirm the audio and video is coming out clearly, fantastic. We're going to wait for that YouTube channel to load here. While we do that, let me go ahead and touch base with Bill, see what's going on over on his end. Busy making calls. Yes, this is it right here. So our Facebook marketing series has been uploaded. We had question and answer series that we've uploaded on here. We've put together training on how we optimize and use images to recruit property scouts, bird dogs, how to find motivated sellers. We have a segment here on probate and a whole bunch of stuff on there. YouTube videos, YouTube marketing, as well as any squeeze pages, landing pages. So yeah, it's definitely all on there. So let me type it in here for you guys, and if you can go ahead and subscribe, that would be awesome. Also type in some comments on the videos. That way we know we're doing good, doing bad, what we need to do to improve, and the kind of content that you guys are looking for. Thank you for confirmations. WS 5x5 says WS. Bill, let me go ahead and unmute you here. A big good morning, almost good afternoon for you guys, huh?
Hey there, Joe. How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Got a couple questions here already lined up. Everything going good on your end?
Yeah, everything's good, man.
Nice, nice.
Making calls with students, and things are good. We're just, being consistent. Followed up a bunch yesterday, made a bunch of new calls. So
very cool.
We're pulling FSBO calls off the FSBO websites, Craigslist. The other thing is if you're in a small market, this is a real good tip. Excuse me, this particular investor, she discovered a local newspaper. And what she figured out is everybody in town reads that thing. I mean, the readership is almost 100%. And advertising in the thing is like dirt cheap. It's like next to nothing. And so what I suggested that she do, explore the possibility of getting a Post-it note made up, a pre-printed Post-it note, and see if they can stick it on the front page of the paper. We buy houses, any condition, any area, something like that. And then her phone number, that goes to a recording. Excuse me. Anyway, that goes to a recording, and I thought that would pull in a lot of leads in that particular area because everybody reads that. Another idea would be to make up a flyer that you stuff in the paper, and also have a regular ad, a We Buy Houses ad in there that runs consistently on a daily basis, 24/7. Because again, in a paper like that, it would be absolutely dirt cheap. And if you run, for a long period of time, you can get a really good discount on the ad. So if you have that kind of paper, if you're in a smaller market, explore that possibility, test it out, and see if it might be a viable resource.
Nice. And when you are looking into local circulars, publications, whether small or big, right? Always ask about any discounts and promos for first-time customers. Let them know that you are testing this new lead source. You have additional marketing budget or a marketing budget that's freed up, and you're now looking for a new channel to advertise in, a new marketing lead source that you would like to consistently farm over the next several months and years to come. And in order to do that, you are looking for a reasonable price point. Any first-time discounts would help. You know, I'm just starting as an entrepreneur, so if it's not a first-time discount, maybe they have, you know, last space in the circular or on the page type of discounts where it might not be the best place, right? It might not be like center page in the most popular sections of that circular or publication, but at least you do get something on there and you can test it out, right? And if you get some signs of life, if you get some calls from that little rinky-dink ad, then again, that'll give you clues as to whether or not to scale up the marketing, to put more towards it, since there are definitely some responses that are coming in. And that's really what you're looking for, responses, so that you can continue to test it and get a gauge of the particular lead source. Thank you for the YouTube channel, says Mary. Most welcome. Most welcome. Glad you enjoyed that one. All right, so let's jump into the Q&A here this morning. Interesting question. Let's say you wholesale a house to a cash investor. As a wholesaler, you put up the $1,000 earnest money deposit. I love the $1,000 earnest money deposit, and your buyer puts up the $1,000 earnest money deposit to the seller through the title company. When your deal completes, do you get the $1,000 back, or is it a wash? I know it comes off the purchase price on both sides if it's a double close. I thought you mostly get it back separate from your wholesale fee, or am I wrong? Bill, what do you take on? Well, what's your take on that one?
Well, any money, you know, if you're doing a simultaneous or a double closing, it's two separate transactions. So if you owe the seller X amount of dollars, then it's going to be deducted from the amount that you owe the seller. For instance, you know, if you're buying it from the seller for $40,000, then you know the amount due at closing would be $39,000. So you don't have to pay off $39,000, so you get credit for that. And the same thing on the other side. When you become the seller on the B2C transaction, then you get credit for the earnest money that the investor paid. I mean, that money goes to you, and then they have to pay the balance at closing. So either way, you'll get credit for it.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and you know, a lot of there are quite a few questions that come my way via email and Facebook chat. I am really active on Facebook through the instant messenger. Just a heads up, please make sure we're contacts on Facebook if you're going to send me a message, because Facebook has a junk mail folder now, and if you're not contacts, it may end up in the junk mail folder. So just send me a friend request. I do check it regularly. Send me a text message if I don't reply or respond to your request. But I'm pretty quick about the requests on there. On the Facebook group, however, you know, we do have somebody look at the profile, just verify that it is a human being and it's not a sexy robot or a spammer, right? Or somebody that wandered in the room for the wrong reasons, right? They're posting about automobiles, and here we are trying to talk about flipping houses. So just a heads up there, okay? If you have questions with regards to title and escrow, I think it helps if you ask a local title and escrow company, you know, give these scenarios to them, because at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to the local attorney, the local title and escrow, wherever you are closing the deal. It's up to them to answer how will this work. And a scenario in the way we did it in California may not apply in some other areas, right? So yeah, just double check and get feedback from the local vendors and where you're looking to close your deals on, right? At the very least, like what Bill just did, or when I give you guys feedback on a few things, you know, here's how we've done it in our market. But really, you want to get the confidence in the answers you're looking for, you know, will come from the local vendors, or ultimately title and escrow there in your area. Okay. Do you have training on lease options? Yes, Mary. If you just go to learntoinvestforfree.com, In the Start Here 101 section, let me take a minute to go through that since we do have quite a few new people here on the session. If you go to the Start Here 101 section, just click on that tab right there. Bill and I put together a video series that talks about the wholesaling process from letter A through Z, step 1 through closing, okay? And within that mix, not everybody is going to accept your 10 cents on the dollar offer, okay? And there are times after you've talked to some sellers, you're going to start to gauge if this is a seller that better fits the wholesale strategy because he needs a cash offer. There's motivation, there's pain, they want to sell fast. If they are not in that position, and you'll be able to tell by pre-screening properly and
I have some.
Okay. You move towards the rent to own or a lease with an option to buy or offering full retail on the property. Okay. And so this video series will talk more about that. For our property scouts, there's training on where to start your marketing, okay, which would apply to investors as well. Tomato, okay. Bird dog is just another term for a wholesaler in training, right? They don't know how to get stuff under contract yet, but they can find the properties and find the deals. So even stuff as detailed as how to fill out a purchase agreement, how to fill out the option documents, marketing agreements, that's all on there. And of course, the other documents that you will need to fill out moving forward to close on the deal. Now, some of these video training sessions are very long and detailed. That's because we review it line by line, and we want to give you a good framework or make sure you understand the documents and how it works. There's always an A to B side to things, right? There's a conversation that we would have with you as the investor to explain how it works. And then the B side is how you communicate that to the seller, okay? How do you explain why the earnest money deposit's only $100 on a $500,000 house? Or, you know, why there are these disclosures and clauses in place to protect you and the seller, right? Or to give you both the opportunity to back out if it turns out to be a bad deal, or to be able to review the numbers to make sure everybody's happy with it, right? Or why the homeowner is how they would benefit from an owner financing strategy. So all that is covered in great detail here in this video series. It's very similar to a video series that I had reviewed when I got started to learn how to wholesale and to get into owner financing. I would watch it while I was at work. These videos are in HD. You can watch them from your mobile phones. And yeah, so hope that helps you out there, Mary. Lilia, glad to see you on the session. I hear you were able to send out or had some good leads for the rent-to-own strategy. Yes, you're able to pre-screen some people. Fantastic. And so let me see here your feedback. What first do I need to do if I have a tenant buyer on a lease option? Would the mortgage broker be the first person to let them talk to? A mortgage broker would be one of the persons that they could talk to first, or they can talk to a local credit repair specialist or vendor. There are nationwide vendors that can do stuff virtually, and then of course you have those that only operate on a local basis. So it really comes down to who you can get on the phone first, right? If they get in touch with a mortgage broker, they're likely going to be pointed in the direction of, are you already in credit repair? Because that is their next step that they need to do before they get financing. And unless you're working with a mortgage broker that you already have done business with or deals before, they may be reluctant to talk to these tenant buyers, because you know some of these guys are already at a point where they can cherry pick their leads or deals. So that might not be the kind of mortgage broker you want to work with, where the guy's already sitting fat and pretty on his pipeline. He only deals with the tenant buyer that can get financing in a heartbeat, right? Which is practically retail. So that's not the type of mortgage broker you want to work with. You want to work with somebody that's hungry, looking for business, that has a passion for helping homeowners transition into real estate, and that's the kind of pipeline they're looking to build. Now, some of them balance it with traditional retail sales, and they'll also add these tenant buyers into their pipeline so that they have money now and money later, and they have constant income coming in for themselves and their business, right? So if the mortgage broker has credit repair specialists or credit repair program in place, fantastic, great. We encourage them to shop around so that it gives us clues as to how serious they are about moving forward. They don't necessarily have to sign up today, but a tenant buyer that has called and talked to a couple of referrals that we have made, talk to Jim, talk to Bill, he knows about credit repair, and he can answer some of your questions on this rent-to-own program. That's a good thing. That separates them from everybody else. And when you're marketing for tenant buyers, I don't care what market you're in, there is always an abundance of these homeowners, these first-time home buyers that is a good fit for this particular strategy and solution. Because there's such a high number of tenant buyers available for you to market and put in your pipeline, you need to be able to prioritize that. How do you do it? You set up filters or a certain criteria where if they talk to this person, then you spend more time with them because it shows that they are proactive about getting financing in place. All right. I would also schedule them to start viewing some homes. Right. Just start moving them forward. During this time of year, we want to get as many people to the properties as best as possible because weather's good. Timing is, everybody's getting into real estate, so there's almost like this frenzy that we can take advantage of. Everybody's doing it. Go check it out before this house is gone. So you have a natural sense of urgency that you can throw into your pitch or that you can talk about a little bit, right? It's not a case of you're not making this stuff up. You're not claiming real estate's not good. It is peak season all across the board, and generally it's pretty busy in the hot zones, right? Wherever these deals are going down. Refer to the training on how to research what markets to buy in, right? Using heat maps as one guide so that you can focus on their areas. What income in order to afford $1,000 rent? I mean, make $3,000 to $4,000 minimum, but it sounds like you're really getting into the nitty-gritty of your tenant buyer. So I would, again, caution you before you go into the nitty-gritty with your tenant buyer. Have they even seen the property? You can't, whether you're dealing with a seller and a buyer, never prejudge the lead. Ever, ever. I don't prejudge a lead, and I don't expect a seller to prejudge my situation and assume I'm going to steal their house. So we extend that courtesy to the sellers, and I expect the same. So before we go into details about their income, they may not give you the most accurate of information, right? They're going to tell you, I have like about $1,000 to put down. They go see the property, and all of a sudden they have $5,000 now because they saw everybody at the property, right? Bill, can you comment a little bit about that? Because you deal with tenant buyers on a regular basis. You deal with buyers in retail because of your agent relationships that you build in your business. So do these tenant buyers really spill the beans on the accuracy of their financial situation, or are they a little bit close-guarded and they don't tell them how accurate it is? Because I don't want people to make the error or mistake of, oh, this guy only has $1,000. You guys just had a 10-15 minute phone call. Do you really think he's going to tell you he has 10 grand in the bank and ready to move? Maybe, but don't prejudge. Is my message at the end of the day. So Bill, what's your take on that?
Well, the best, if you've got a property that's tied up under rent-to-own, with the seller, you have a lease option agreement, then the best quality tenant buyers that you're going to find are people that actually respond to your signs and come and look at the property. I mean, the quickest and best way to build up your tenant buyer list, especially if you're talking about a vacant property, is hold an open house. On a Wednesday or on a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday. In our area, the best day is Sunday after church. So we'll hold an open house for 3 hours and really do a good job putting ads in Craigslist and signing it in from all the major highways. And we put the signs out about a day or two early and sign the people into the property. There's a sign in the front yard that says open house this Sunday. There's a flyer box with information. And so the people that attend the open house have been pre-screened, essentially. They know the neighborhood. They've looked at the outside of the house. They have a flyer. Those people have some motivation. So they're going to come in and look at the house, and maybe that particular house doesn't fit their needs, but if you have an opportunity to talk to them, they're going to open up a lot more than the person on the phone cold. So they're going to tell you that this house is really not for them, but what they are, but so you ask them, well, what are you looking for? And say, well, we really need a 3-bedroom instead of a 4, and we can pay up to about $1,000 a month or whatever it is. And then you take their information and their contact information, and then you explain to them, for instance, on this house, the money to move in would be $5,000 plus the first month's rent. Does that fit your budget on this other house that you're looking for? And they say, yeah, that's no problem. We can come up with that kind of money. And so that's how you kind of pre-screen the people. The other way that I do it, if I have somebody that's truly interested in the house, I don't want to send a whole bunch of people over to my mortgage broker that are not qualified.
That's another one, yeah.
So if I've got somebody that truly is interested in the house, then they have to fill out a rental application, which you're going to have to do anyway. I mean, there's no way that you're going to allow somebody to move into a property and present it to the seller without a rental application on file, with that seller. So I have them fill out a rental application, and on there they disclose their income and stuff like that. And I say, the rent's $1,000 a month. We require a minimum of somewhere between $3,500 and $4,000 in gross income a month, depending on what your monthly obligations are. Does something like that fit for you? Does that fit within your budget? And then I look at the application, and so once I find that they're qualified and the application is been completed, then I get their permission. They sign it, and I get their permission to send that to the mortgage broker. So I actually send a copy of their application to the mortgage broker and then give them the information and let them contact the mortgage broker direct. And that way the mortgage broker gets a heads up on who they are and kind of their situation before he or she actually speaks with them. And so it gives them kind of a heads up and lets them know that, hey, I pre-qualified these people. I'm just not taking warm bodies and throwing them against the wall and hope they stick and wasting your time. Because a lot of the calls that you'll get will be people that are just simply not qualified at all. They make $1,000 a month, and they want rent at $300 a month, and that's insane for most markets. So obviously that person you're just not going to be able to work with at this time. So that's kind of what we do, and that way the people that we send to our mortgage broker have had some sort of a pre-qualification. And then, I'm not wasting their time, and then they can put them through their program, take an application, start them through the credit repair program, and take it from there. Back to you.
Awesome. Definitely some good pointers on there. I mean, on the flip side, that's one of my frustrations that I'm facing right now, because I constantly market and talk about property scouts and bird dogs, because that's really the entry-level point for a lot of people when they get started in real estate. And so, I refer these candidates to local investors, even to local agents and brokers. And then, sometimes they get a little bit overwhelmed, so you want to balance that. But on the flip side, too, I mean, these are as good a leads as these people can afford or have access to. They should work them. Don't prejudge the lead. Give them a chance to, take a look at the property. I was talking to one of our virtual investors who does deals on the East Coast, and that was their roadblock, right? They were being I think they were being way too strict on the tenant buyer screening. They wouldn't even, let them go to the house until they filled out the questionnaire. It's like, well, I don't know, man. It's peak season right now, and if they can't look at this house, they'll end up looking at something else. So send them to the property, start a frenzy, and the one that is most qualified, because some people think, oh, well, this guy doesn't really serve a purpose to us. He's broke, his credit sucks, and, why should we even send them to the house? Having a lot of bodies at the property creates a competitive environment, and it encourages the true tenant buyer, the one who is most qualified, to take action, right? For some people, they just need to see that type of signs of life or that level of competition in order to take that next step and fill out the application, right? A couple of quick, easy questions we'll address and fire off here. What do you guys use for your VAs to get local numbers and make calls from? Vitality.com is one, Vumber.com is one, Skype and Google Voice are some, right? Some of those are free, some of those are paid components. It just depends on your level of business. If you're first getting started out, just go with Google Voice. Okay, it's free. You can access it from anywhere, and you can even use it when you're doing your virtual deals. Once you close a transaction, you can take a look at paid phone number sources. I sincerely doubt you're going to need 5 to 10 phone numbers anyway, because if you're just getting started out, most people are looking to bootstrap, and they don't add about 5 different sources of marketing. They tend to pick 1 or 2, which is complementary to their marketing budget and allows them to do it on a consistent basis. Look at your marketing from a 3 to 6 month standpoint. If you can't sustain it for that, take a look at other options so that you can allow your marketing to gain some traction and grow. And all of those offer short-term plans and long-term phone plans as well, right? So any of those vendors. Bill, is there a way to structure a wholesale deal, assigning or double closing with a bank on a commercial finance deal? It might be a little, I have a buyer in mind for my 6-unit complex for sale, and I've been getting a few buyers that have asked. Commercial finance deal. I've never done any commercial financing deals. I know Bill used to do some commercial stuff. Even when we did our 6-unit deal here in LA, we just took a wholesale fee on that deal. We kept it as simple as possible. We wanted the buyer to... Everybody wanted in and out and as clean and as quickly as possible, since it was a really good deal. Do you ever do anything with financing, commercial finance, Bill? Is that even a step in the right direction, or are they just kind of overcomplicating it and, might not be a good idea to explore?
Well, the simplest way is, as you suggested, is to just tie a property under contract and assign it for an assignment fee and step out of the deal. I mean, that's the cleanest and simplest way. When you get beyond that, then you start getting into some pretty advanced strategies. But to keep it as simple as possible, the other thing would be, if you're dealing in commercial, then you've got more sophisticated buyers and sellers, and all the residential Dodd-Frank laws and all that kind of stuff don't come into play. So what you could do is you could go ahead and get an option on the property, buy the property with an option contract, and then sell your option contract to the buyer coming in, and they then step into your shoes. You had an option to purchase the property for $500,000, and that's a great deal because the property is worth $750. Let's say it's a 5-unit building or whatever, in the Midwest, and so it's a great deal, and you sell your contract to that buyer for $25,000. So, in other words, they can step in and you actually assign your option contract to them. They cut you a check for $25,000, and then they have the right to step into your shoes and buy the property directly from the seller. And as the way that they're doing that is they're coming in with 20% down, and they're getting a new loan from a commercial bank. So you're completely out of the picture. They've bought out your position. What you did is you actually sold your contract. You didn't sell the real estate. So it's a personal property sale. And then you step out of the picture, and they go ahead and close with the seller, and they do that by bringing in cash to a new loan. So that would be the other way to do it. But the simplest way is just to assign your contract for an assignment fee and step out of the deal. Whether you do that at closing or whether you do that prior to that, is really up to the laws in your state and up to the parties involved in the deal. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so we'll hold out here for another couple minutes or so. If you guys have anything urgent, type it in. If you have any questions on your marketing that we're doing for you, enter it in the GoToWebinar control panel if it's urgent, so we can help you and keep you moving forward. We do have one more question. We're going to stack that and move that into... I'm trying to think. I don't think we're going to have a session on Wednesday tomorrow, so I'm just going to announce it. We're no session on Wednesday. Wednesday is kind of like my personal training day, where I go through all of my personal training for marketing, for real estate, and try to move some of our major items in our business forward. But if you guys have anything urgent, you know where to find us on Facebook, text message. The group coaching calls are going to take place right? So if you have any Podio questions, then you need to go into group coaching, because we open the account, we go through Podio, and we help you navigate and get comfortable with the Podio platform. A lot of more fancy stuff coming out with Podio and people hyping it up, which is great. Guys, just keep it simple, okay? I mean, I know the bells and whistles are nice, but it gets to a point where it just almost overcomplicates things. And even for me, when I have a client and we're putting programs together and they want all this stuff to go into the system, and it's like, I think it's going to do more harm than good. It's cool to have, but it's more of a fancy distraction. And if it doesn't bring us closer to 60 days from now to a deal, what's the point, right? That's my take. So we'll save this question for tomorrow. Something about tenants trashing a property, and now you got a frustrated landlord, how to navigate that process. Friday, no session on Friday as well. We're going to be road tripping it out to Big Sur. So if you are going to be in the area, I think we might even make it to San Francisco. Yeah, we're going to just do a nice little road trip up the coast and hang out. So if you're going to be in those areas, do let us know. Steve here from Group Coaching does have an update here for everyone. They do deals 100% virtual in the owner finance, rent-to-own, lease option, tomato, sandwich deal, call it what you want. They do not meet the seller. They don't meet the buyer. They do not have an agent in place. And I always cringe about that, because when I take a look at their deals, they're dealing with tenant buyers with like 5, 10, 15, 20,000 to put down. And I really, really think that they need to have an agent in place, because that's the kind of service you would provide to that quality of a lead to ensure that the deal gets closed, or that somebody doesn't try to poach them for it, right? Try to grab the business and steal it away from them. But these guys are doing stuff 100% virtual. And so here is the pitch that Steve uses, or the words and transition lines, when he talks to a tenant buyer. There's an option deposit that goes towards purchasing the property. It depends on the purchase price, right? You don't want to price anybody out. You want to keep them curious enough to move forward and take a look at it, a chance at moving into their dream home. Generally, it's about $3,000 to $5,000. Again, ballpark figure, right? The cool thing is there isn't a security deposit, so to move in, you just need the option deposit and the first month's rent. Is that something that you can do? And generally across the board, that is something that most of our tenant buyers can move in. We've seen it in all markets. That's why we use that transition statement or line. If you don't have the full amount, that's okay. We also have a down payment assistance program that could help you move in. Okay. Now, we've put this conversation together because even if you're just brand new or getting started, it's a non-confrontational approach. It's not a hard, oh, you don't qualify? Take a hike, buddy, right? We want people coming through the door. They need people coming through the door because they do things 100% virtually, so they rely on the numbers in their business. Volume of leads, volume of applicants, volume of sellers, volume of tenant buyers in order to get to the most qualified ones. They don't have the luxury to cherry pick them because they do it 100% virtual and they're playing the numbers game. Can I get a copy of that script? Let me see if I can copy paste it on here. And if any of you show up for group coaching, ask it from Steve. He'll get it to you on there. These days, guys, they are slammed. They are really busy. So if you need help, log into group coaching and interact with them there. Outside of those sessions, I would say unless you're looking to launch and ramp up some marketing or it's anything absolutely urgent, please limit your consultations and your inquiries and bring them directly into those dedicated times where they cater to you guys. I think we're getting to a point where they have a waiting list for any of their joint venture partners or markets that they're looking to do deals in. So yes, jump into group coaching if you need an answer right away. If you didn't hear back from text or email, chances are it wasn't an emergency situation, but go direct to the source and take advantage of that. Okay, so today on our noon session, we have an internet marketing training Monday through Fridays at 12 noon. We're going to be covering some Facebook marketing. Okay, so if you need a refresher on Facebook marketing, pay-per-click ads, dark posts, right-hand column ads, newsfeed ads, all that good stuff, We're going to be reviewing that on the noon session. It's not specifically real estate. These are general internet marketing practices that you can apply to any industry, especially real estate, right? So with that, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. The next time I'm going to catch you all is going to be on Thursday. And Bill's email address is on here, bill@bluegrassreig.com. If you're interested in a consultation, possibly doing deals and working with Bill directly, making phone calls, doing deals together. We are, at the end of the day, our primary focus is real estate. We want to make money. That's how we make a living, right? So if our trainings, the training part is a bonus. We do that to train our own staff and for you guys that are part of our network. But at the end of the day, our goal is to do deals. So send an email to Bill so you guys can set up a time to talk. Are we meeting tonight? Today's Tuesday. Wednesday. You know what? I think so. Unless something pops up, it is going to be a long weekend, so maybe we can all get together. I'll have a better idea by tomorrow or later today on the noon session, right? Lilia, I'll send you Bill's email, but you are already in group coaching, so you already are talking to some sellers, and I think you're good to go, right? But I'm going to send you his email, just, outline it, but you're already up and running, so just giving you a heads up there, all right? So thank you so much for jumping on, guys. My name is Gail on behalf of Bill, Steve, Henry, the Robert Sheeman Group, which reminds me, July 26, 27, 28, that weekend, Henry Serrano, Ken Wenrick, Claude Diamond, we're having a 2-day workshop in San Diego. That's going to be our flagship strategy here moving forward. It's the strategy that we have picked with the lowest barriers to entry. It complements those of you that have a couple $100 in a marketing budget. Because let's face it, if you're wholesaling with a couple $100, it's tight. It's tight, right? You got to do it in the Midwest to be able to get the phone to ring. If you're in the West Coast or a coastal market, it is going to be brutal, right? But with this strategy, it's a lot easier to get a response rate. It's and you're not sweating as many bullets when you launch a marketing campaign. So I hope to see you guys at that workshop, and replays go up in the next 24 hours. That's one of the things I'm working on today. So have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.